We still got 90 amps outside, so I'm not complaining at all. Welcome back, guys, welcome back to the Off-Grid Garage here in not so sunny Australia, but still almost 100 amps. I've seen the 150 amps outside already, so it is all good. So in today's video we wanna test some batteries and do the ultimate test we have all waited for. And for that we have to have a look at the not QSO batteries. And these are finally the 4 missing batteries Volta Energy from Western Australia has sent over to the Off-Grid Garage here to test, to make the ultimate test. These are EVE LF 280K certified automotive grade cells. Yes, again, but this time we have a set of 4 in the box. And we also have, look at this, look at these bus bars, right? That is pure copper. This is half the weight of this box already. And they also were so kind to put some aluminium bus bars in the box as well. It's like a 3D printed plastic cover they are sitting in. And I have a contact here for the balance cables for your BMS. So we've got 3 of them as well. So we can compare the bus bar situation as well. And a bag full of screws, nuts, ring lugs, connectors and isolator caps. Come on. Yo, and here they are. 4 LF 280K certified automotive grade cells. Oh. And they are coming with the original welded terminals from EVE directly. So you can either order these batteries from EVE directly with absolutely flat aluminium terminals, and you can weld your own terminals or bus bars onto them straight away, or you can order them like this with a double threaded aluminium block. Volta Energy has put their own sticker on it with a barcode and a serial number, but this is the original cell serial number coming from EVE. And they also printed these cool terminal covers here. So they sit like this on top of the terminals, and then you take this one off and it gives you access to the actual terminal like this. You can leave these covers on so they surround and isolate your terminals, but still give you access with a bus bar. Pretty cool. And then if you don't use the cell, you've got this little cap here. So apart from that, nothing else to see here. And there are no additional stickers from EVE or anything else on these cells. Let's do a quick belly test. There are a tiny bit of a belly, but only where the terminals are. But this is totally normal and cannot be prevented at all. And a quick size comparison. Certified normal LF 280K. Same size, same width, same height, same everything. Well, technically they could be from the same manufacturing, from the same day, from the same production line. They could be 100% the same. One made it in the world of certified automotive grade cells and the other one didn't, and ended up here in the Off-Grid Garage in sunny hot Australia. But now technically they are absolutely the same cells. And in one of the last videos we have already compared a single cell automotive grade certified cell from EVE, the LF 304, against a non-certified storage grade LF 304, and we couldn't see any difference at all apart from a small capacity gain for the certified cell. But today we want to do a high current discharge test with a 12 volt system, because with this tester here we are limited to 40 amps discharge only, But as you know, there are claims out there saying if you discharge these cells with a higher current, you will definitely see a difference between certified automotive grade cells and storage grade cells. And I'm currently preparing and charging up the fake Hithium cells we have here, because these are 280 ampere hour cells as well. They are not EVE. I think they are pretty much the worst cells I have at the moment. Yeah, look at this. Oh wow. Because we don't even know what the manufacturer of these cells is. So once this is all prepared, we are going to do a 200 amp discharge test with this 12 volt battery here. So I think it will take another hour or so, and then we get started with the high current discharge test. And thank you to Volta Energy in Western Australia for sending over these 4 cells here for testing purposes. Thanks a lot, Trev. Okay, let's quickly scan the QR code and see what it says. Okay, this is the automotive grade cell, EVE power, LF 280K, 280 ampere hours. This is from the 24th of August 22. Comes from the Jingman production line. And let's scan the other one. It has exactly the same. It comes from the Jingman factory as well. It is 1 year older, but apart from that, everything seems to be the same. Ah, there we go. 170 amps outside. Nice. Good morning, guys, and welcome back to the same video actually. Well, I actually wanted to do the test yesterday already to discharge this battery here and measure how much capacity we get out of it, and also record the voltage curve to compare this later on to our certified cells. But some friends came over and I had to explain them how to calibrate a solar panel alignment tool correctly, and things escalated quickly then, and when they left at 11 PM, I wasn't in the mood anymore to do any testing here with batteries. So it is now the next morning, but let's get on to it. So 13 millivolt deviation, and the balancer kicks in here of the BMS, as well as the active balancer starts working as well. So they are synchronized. If you haven't seen the video here, this is a special edition BMS you can buy from Müller Energy in Sydney here. Only for 4S configuration at the moment. And it has a balancer activation port here, which you connect to your active balancer. And it synchronizes the active balancer then with the internal passive balancer, and they both work on your battery. So very good design. I really like it. As some of you have already commented under my videos, this BMS cannot be connected to the Overkill Solar app. So this only runs on the Xiaoxiang app, but it will not connect with the Overkill Solar for some reason. So we are now at 14.58 volts, so almost 8 to 10 millivolt deviation we have. And I would say this pack is 100% top balanced. Cell number 2 is 8 millivolt lower, but 100% top balanced, definitely. Okay, let me walk you through the setup here. So we have our 4S battery obviously here. I used double bus bars. See that there? Double bus bars on top of each other. 6 Newton meter of torque to push them down onto the terminals of the battery cells, which was a bit... I would not recommend using 6 Newton meters on these batteries. This one was already a bit like soft, you know. I'm not sure. Even these cells have stainless steel terminals. 6 Newton meter is pushing it a bit. So I would really recommend using only 4 Newton meters. What I'm using here in the battery shelf, which is totally sufficient. Now, there's no heat building up at 100 amps or something, nothing. But today we want to go 200 amps at least, hence the double bus bar, 6 Newton meter of torque. I have 2 bus bars connected to our BMS here as well. Underneath here there is a, you can see it, there is a copper washer to compensate for the height difference here, because they are on top of each other. I didn't want to bend this one down to match the terminal of the BMS, so I used a copper washer. And here on the other side we are going directly from the massive copper bus bar of the BMS to our 70mm cable connected to our smart shunt, and from there goes a 70mm cable to our negative of the PIDA inverter. Yeah, the good old PIDA. And I've used the red and black cables, all of them which came with the PIDA inverter. So we've got 8 10 millimeter cable. It is around 10 millimeter cable. 8 of these cables connected to the positive, and they are splitting up into a 35 millimeter cable here and another 35 millimeter cable over there, connecting 4 of these cables each then to the main positive of the battery here. Again, torque down to 6 Newton meter. Oh, I think the BMS has turned off. Yeah, BMS has turned off. One of the cells went over 3.65 volts. So, and now, because we are going to measure the voltage curve of the battery during discharging as well, we need our EBC 820 tester and connect the positive and negative to our battery terminals, I would say, yes. Oh, look at this, sun is coming out. 150 amps outside, nice. So I have also started the EB tester software now, but because we are not going to test the battery through the EB tester, we can only measure the voltage. But this is the interesting part in this test here, to see the voltage sag and if the certified automotive grade cells can actually hold the voltage better than the cheap fake Hithium cells here. So for this to happen, you connect your tester to your battery as you would do. And obviously you cannot start a test or something, because then you would discharge the battery through the tester and not through our Peter inverter here. But what you can do is you can click the monitor button up here, and then, well, it monitors the voltage of our battery during the test then. And we can save this also as a curve, so we get all the details, and then we can later compare these two curves together. As a load for our test, I have plugged in the Tesla vehicle. So we will charge the vehicle with 10 amps, maybe 11 amps of 230 volts, which will give us a 2.3, 2.4 kilowatts. This may or may not be sufficient to get 200 amps here on the battery. If not, I have also plugged in our power supply here, and we can use this to adjust the load a little bit and charge our big battery shelf here with it, because I really want to see the 200 amps here in the BMS on the display while we are measuring the voltage curve as well. Okay, first of all, turn off the power supply. We don't want to charge anymore. The BMS has turned off a second time now. Battery is 100% full. Turn on the inverter, the good old Peter. And we set the Tesla to, let's set it to 80%. It should start charging automatically now. Yep, here it comes. What do we get? 160 amps, 164. Click the monitor button on our software, and we will see the voltage declining fast at the beginning now. Okay, let's turn on the power supply as well. Another 5 amps, let's see. 196 amps. Okay, let's do 7 amps. 200 amps out of this battery here. All right. Okay, I have also prepared my FLIR camera because I want to monitor the battery situation here from a thermal perspective. Not that we get anything hot or so here, so you have to be aware what is going on. You can feel already here a bit of heat building up. Hopefully this terminal is not here. This all seems to be fine. Okay, let's go into the FLIR and have a look. Okay, we are now having a look at the battery situation at 206 amps. So you can see the terminals heating up a little bit of the battery. And in the foreground is the BMS. We have 33 degrees on the outgoing terminal. But this could be more like a crimping issue here, I guess, from the 70mm cable. This is actually the off-cut cable I have used, which we cut off of our Phoenix inverter when we installed the transfer switch. But 35 degrees is still fine. Further over here we've got the smart shunt with 39 amps, with 39 degrees, which is obviously heating up at 200 amps. And here is the cabling mush of this inverter, 41 at some stages. 42 degrees we can see here at some cables, still totally fine. No problem here. Oh, this is my GoPro. GoPro is really hot. Peter inverter itself is cool. Cable is obviously heating up a little bit, but apart from that, nothing to see so far. It is very loud here at the workbench, so I'm going over here to make this video. So here's the BMS again. You can see 202 amps we are pulling, and the battery voltages, the cell voltages are down to 3.2 volts. And here we can see the settings of the BMS. So the under voltage disconnect is at 2.5 volts or at 10 volt pack voltage. So we go all the way down. So whenever we hit the 2.5 volt in one of the cells, we will disconnect the inverter. This will be another good test for the Müller BMS, for the JBD, if it can actually disconnect the 200 amps easily without releasing any smoke, like the JK BMS did. Everything is getting pretty warm. The smart shunt has over 50 degrees already, so you can barely touch it. Jeez, these are the expansions of the roof here when the sun is coming down. It scares the shit out of me. I'm touching something here to feel if it's warm, and then a loud bang from the roof. So we're already down to a 79% state of charge. That goes quickly. But look how stable the voltage curve is here. At 12.8 volts around. It even goes up, it goes down, and then it goes up a bit. And now it is just under 12.8. Yeah, 12.8 volts. You can probably see the ripple effect here a bit, how the voltage goes up and down. And this is probably because of the inverter creating this sine wave. So we are running 204 amps. And just to give you some perspective, in a 48 volt system, just one battery bank here and 200 amps would be more than 10,000 watts. It is crazy. So I'm just turning on the fan to cool the whole test setup here, because I just had over 50 degrees BMS temperature, and it's cooling down now. I also moved my support box here a bit, so there's a bit of airflow underneath. Yeah, it actually gets pretty warm. Apart from that, everything looks good. Voltage is slowly going down. 12.77 we have after 25 minutes of discharging. And the batteries are just under 3.2 volts still. So nothing has changed much. So over 1 hour into the test, and we are at 12.4 volts. The BMS claims we are at 0%. And single cell voltages are just above 3.1 volts. And the smart shunt has counted 246 ampere hours. We have 246 ampere hours we have pulled from these batteries. So we are kind of coming to an end now. You can also see the curve, how it goes down now very quickly. So there's another 40 ampere hours, I guess another 10 minutes maximum, and then we should see a result. Interesting. I also forgot to zero the smart shunt, but we still have the screenshot of the last test, so we can extract the numbers then. The ampere hours are correct though. Almost 250 ampere hours pulled of these fake Hithium battery cells. Whatever they are, we still don't know. The QR code doesn't tell us which manufacturer that is. We don't know. Cell number 3 is the first one to be under 3 volts. But we have already pulled close to 270 ampere hours. Impressive. Oh, we are down to 2.8 volts. Cell number 3 it will be, I guess. Okay, we are under 12 volt. We've pulled 275 ampere hours so far, and we are still discharging with 201 amps. I have actually turned off the power supply, otherwise we would pull over 240 amps now, which is a bit too much. 2.78 and 3.3 kilowatt hours so far. Oh, and we will turn off every second. I got a little bit away. I'm not sure about the BMS turning off 200. Okay, we have stopped officially. No problem for the JBD Müller Energy Edition BMS to turn off 200 amps. No problem at all. So 279 ampere hours we have pulled from these batteries. So that is very impressive. I mean, what else could you ask for fake Hithium batteries, 280 ampere hours, to get 279 at 200 amps discharge current? That is impressive. From 11.9 to 15.2, that is 3.3 kilowatt hours, right? Yeah, 3.3 kilowatt hours out of this pack at 200 amps. And here we can see the discharge curve now. So I leave this running until 1 hour and 15 minutes. And I will do the same with the other battery as well, so we can line up these curves perfectly later on. Okay guys, so far I would say these cells have passed the test just fine. I cannot complain so far. Temperature 39 degrees on these batteries after discharging for over 1 hour with 200 amps. Let me swap these battery cells now with the EVE LF280K certified automotive grade cells. I'm setting up everything the same way again, connecting our PIDA inverter, and then I'll show you the setup again before we do the second discharge test with these batteries. And answering the question once and for all, if there's a difference between B grade, C grade, whatever storage grade, whatever you want to call them, or certified automotive grade cells. Let's do it. Look at this. Not as wobbly as the other ones. A tiny bit. They're not 100% straight either, but not as bad as the other ones. I have now installed the EVE LF280K certified cells in our test setup here. And as you can see, I have used the same double bus bar situation as before. We've got this construct here to connect to the main negative, and the two cables going to our inverter are only connected to one hole of the terminals. So I pretty much wanted to have the same setup as close as possible to the other one. And because we want to measure the cells and not the bus bars. At the moment I haven't used any of these beefy bus bars here or the aluminium bus bars. We're just going with the same setup. So nothing of our setup has changed except of the battery cells. I have torqued them down with 6 Newton meter as well. Connected our EBC A20 tester to the main negative and main positive again. Our charger is on 14.56 volts. Still charging sometimes until the BMS turns off. We are at 3.64 volts. Got a deviation of 6 millivolt here. So the first discharge got us 34 kilometers of range in the Tesla. It has now started charging. We turn on here, click on monitor on our screen. Oh, cell number 4 has got a lower voltage already than the other ones. Maybe there's something wrong with the bus bars. This one is already heating up a bit. Let me quickly check this here. No, definitely 6 Newton meter. So I have stopped the test now and moved this bus bar over to the right, so it overlaps the wider area of this terminal, because it got a bit warm on this side here, and I think this was the problem, showing a lower voltage as well. And we are just recharging to 14.6 volts now. Okay, I don't know what's going on, but cell number 4 is low again of our 4. 20 millivolts, around 20 millivolts lower than all the other ones. It gets a bit warm. I'm not sure what's going on here. Okay, I'll monitor the situation again with the infrared camera here from time to time, and I'll see you again in an hour. Okay, I'm going to stop the test. I'm going to stop the test again. This bus bar gets so hot here. It's not good. These ones are warm, but this one is fairly hot. And I'm not sure if it's on this side or on this side here, so I need to investigate and do some more testing. I have to repeat the test again. Only 20 millivolt or something, but it is still the lowest. I have even replaced the bus bar now with one of these beefy aluminium copper ones, and I have moved these ones around, made sure they have good connection, and I cannot really pin it down. It is still cell number 4 which has a lower voltage. Maybe it is the cell. So guys, this is now attempt number 3 to discharge this battery here correctly. And I have found there was a resistance between the terminal of the battery cell and the bus bar. And only by using 2 screws and torque them down to 6 Newton meter each on both sides, I could actually overcome this resistance. I couldn't find anything on the aluminium terminal of the battery. It's the same as on the other ones as well, but I could not get it right. Well, anyway, it is now 0.11 milliohms as well as all the other ones. It was 0.25 milliohms before, and hence we had a higher voltage drop on these connections and therefore more heat creation as well. So this is now all fixed, hopefully, and now we can start test number 3, which will be our final test, hopefully. Okay, we are fully charged, 14.6 volts. 3.64 and deviation of 3 millivolt only. Perfect. Okay, and we are officially running the 3rd time. Voltage is monitoring. Let's see if we can bring this up to 2.7 kilowatts here. There we go, 2.75 kilowatts, same as with the other battery. 10 amps discharging plus the power supply. Makes a nice curve. All right, it is still a tiny bit lower than the other ones, but we are talking about like 20 millivolt or something, so I think it's okay now. This is all I can do with this connection. Well, I need to get this test done, so this will be it. So we are just under 20% state of charge. The display actually goes red. 43 degrees, so very similar to the other ones as well. And they are nice and cozy. Wow. So here's the situation of the battery voltages. Cell number 4 is still our lowest cell. 30 millivolt deviation we have now to cell number 2. And yeah, this bus bar still gets hot. But they are hot too. So we are just under 3 volts exactly. Actually, cell number 1 is our lowest now, not cell number 4 anymore. And I just had a quick look at the smart shunt, and we have 273.4 ampere hours pulled from this battery. So very similar to the other battery as well. And I guess we will come to an end in a few minutes. 1 hour and 10 minutes we have just passed, pulling 200 amps, over 200 amps from this battery. Oh, look at this, 1.8 kilowatt only. What is going on? The Tesla only pulls 8 out of 12 amps. But this is 230 volts. No, it is 200 volts only the inverter puts out. Oh, we are close to an end. 2.6 volts, cell number 1. Well, interestingly, in this case, the BMS has not shut down, but the Tesla vehicle has stopped charging because the inverter could not deliver a stable voltage anymore. I've never seen this before. Very interesting. But we were very, very close to 2.5 volts anyway with cell number 1. No, there's no message on the screen here in the car. Usually it tells you that the voltage is low and that it adapts the charging speed accordingly to whatever is available on the net. And we can already see we have pulled 279 ampere hours from the battery as well. So exactly the same capacity as the fake Hithium battery as well. We probably could have made another 0.1, 0.2 ampere hours or something until the BMS was shutting off anyway. But it's not like we are getting 290 ampere hours out of the certified cells, right? Well guys, so far there's no difference again between the capacity of the certified battery and the fake Hithium battery. Same capacity, 100% the same capacity. And we now want to have a look at the discharge curve of both batteries and compare them together if we see a difference at all. I don't know. Okay, let's open the fake Hithium battery discharge curve first. Fake Hithium in green. There's our discharge curve. It looks very similar to the certified cells for me, but let's open this one as well. On top of that, so we've got the green line for our storage grade battery, and now we are open the certified. There you go. All right, guys. That is crazy. That is crazy. So this is a 200 amp discharge curve of both batteries. Same load, same BMS, same bus bars, everything the same. And we can see the certified battery is a bit more stable at the beginning. So we have a bit of a voltage sag in the storage crate, in the fake Hithium storage crate batteries. But we are talking about 100 millivolt difference, pack voltage difference at 200 amps discharge current. This is 100 millivolt roughly, maybe a bit more. But here after 20 minutes, we are very close together. And here at some point at 40 minutes or so, the curves actually cross. And then the fake Hithium storage crate battery keeps the voltage actually higher than our certified battery. And you can see here, they are going very parallel down into the knee. The certified cell a bit more, because the inverter could not deliver a stable voltage anymore, the Tesla ramped down. And that's why the voltage is a bit higher than from our storage crate battery. But guys, I must say, these curves are looking almost identical to me. There's not much difference. Again, there's not much gain from certified cells. What I can see here from this test, even at 200 amps, it doesn't make a big difference. We are not seeing a big voltage sag anywhere, you know. 200 amps, 1 hour and 10 minutes, full power discharging, heating up the batteries to 45 degrees almost, and there's no difference. There you go, guys. I think we have tested everything now. We've done the single cell comparison, certified, not certified, 40 amps, charging, discharging curves, 100% the same. And now here, the 200 amp discharge curve in a 4S configuration looks almost identical, almost the same. I don't think there is a benefit of buying certified automotive grade cells for solar storage. I cannot see a difference, an advantage, a benefit of that, looking at these curves. Okay guys, there you have it. I think we have tested everything, comparing single battery cells and the 4S configuration 12-volt batteries, certified cells to not certified, to storage grade, B grade, C grade, whatever you want to call it, and I couldn't find any difference at all. Same capacity, same voltages, no voltage sag, no difference, just the B grade or the storage grade batteries are a lot cheaper. For me, this is decision made. I'm not buying any of these automotive grade cells anymore. As always guys, thank you so much for watching. Thanks for all your great support here. Thanks for your many donations and all your emails you're sending me. And until the next video guys, you stay charged, stay safe, and thanks again for watching. See you then. Bye bye. Before you go actually, I'm going to do a single cell, so doing a full discharge and a full charge and recording the curves and putting all the information, all the data on the website under battery data. Link is always under the video. And I probably do a quick video about it as well and compare the certified battery cell, the single cell then, to an LF280K, which we have tested like months ago, just to overlap the curves again and see if we can actually spot any difference at all, which I 100% doubt. But stay tuned for this quick and short video then.